Yesterday I made an audio, but I eventually deleted it. I completely misspelled some words. You know, I was like, oh no, I did say that. I should take notes sometimes. English is not my mother tongue. Sometimes it happens. And I don't edit things out, so sometimes I just delete. And anyway, it was about WAR. WAR is a necessity, actually. It is part of the system, the operating system that runs the world, you know. Everything in this system, we call it natural order, seeks balance, you know. Every time things get out of hand, a mechanism is triggered to bring things back to normal, to bring things back to balance. Yeah. So I do think there's people, a lot of people that have achieved a certain level of sophistication and could talk these things out without the use of brute force. Of course, but that's not reality, is it? Because there's some people who are in the ego, completely mental. They are irrational, illogical, and highly emotional. And they don't want peace. They don't want to talk things out. They don't want diplomacy. So sometimes force has to be used. And Ares, the god of war, Ares is just, you know, one of these archetypes for the force or power that seeks balance. We just give it a name to make it easy on people. If you say Aries, people immediately know what you're talking about. The god of war is a necessity. It could be avoided, but that requires sophistication and wisdom, something 99% of people don't have. So it's almost like a force that, you know, redirects things back to uh, natural order. It's a force that redirects things into balance. So, what do I think WHR should be? You know, you ought to be always ready for it. You know, that is the best mindset, to always be ready for it. Do not fall asleep behind the wheel. You know, should always be ready for it. It's almost like a prepper. People make fun of preppers until poop hits the fan, right? Preppers, they keep non-perishable food in their, you know, hidden in their cellar, or in a shack far, far away from civilization. They also start stocking, you know, lead and other types of defense. For the normal mouth breather, they don't understand this behavior. They're like, "What are you doing? You are stocking on lead and all these things. Why?" You mustn't tell the truth. If you say it's for protection, they might call the police on you. No, you ought to the response. You ought to say, it's for the zombies, man. You know, zombies. You see, because these mouth breathers, they don't understand analogy or metaphor, and they immediately go to cinema and video games, and they're like, "Oh, you're a loony." Okay, it's just analogy. Every film you saw of zombies is the mouth breathers, you know, the window lickers that go crazy when poop hits the fan, and they immediately turn on you, on each other, and they turn, you know, rabid cannibals. That's what it's all about. If this happens, there's going to be 80, 90% of people that will immediately become like this. That's what the zombie films is all about. It's a big, big metaphor. So anyway, if you say it's for the zombies with a crazy look, they let you off the hook, you know. So I believe in preparing. Yes. preparing like a prepper. Around here, uh, we stock potatoes, for instance. Yes, we still have this in our culture. We stock potatoes because potatoes is a food that lasts over a year in a dry, and fresh environment. We cover our potatoes with eucalyptus. The odor from the eucalyptus is just repels insects and other things and other undesirables. And potatoes, if they are dry, they last, a long time. If there's humidity, potatoes might, start flurrying. You can peel a potato and throw the rest, in the garbage, and they start growing if there's the right conditions. I mean, potato is it's almost like a weed that we can eat. It just grows anywhere. If there's any manure, because potatoes like to eat, if there's any manure in the earth, they grow anywhere. you know so if you are, knowledgeable how to procure compost, you know for instance, you're eating an apple, you throw it in the compost. The rest, the banana peel, you throw it in the compost. Some scraps from your food, you throw it in the compost. Some months later, you will have a very awesome, nourishing, compost for everything, for your garden, plants, anything. But anyway, a lot of people don't remember anymore how to, uh, come by how to come by with these things. I mean, I was just listening to what's going on in the world, and people are panicking because compost, industrial compost, not natural one, is being blocked somewhere, and they're already fearing for agriculture, for the industrial, complex, because people living in the cities, they have no clue where food comes from, and they are 100% dependent on companies. So uh, they're just gonna, ramp the prices up. They're like, oh my god, we're all gonna starve because there's no compost. Yeah, man, compost is the most easiest thing to come by. Even your own excrement can be used, start gathering. I mean, um, when my parents was children, there was neighbors from the next nearby village. They would gather piss, urine. People used to piss in a pot, that they kept under their beds, some years ago. And there was somebody that passed, and hey, do you have piss? Come on, give it to me. Give it to me, that precious yellow gold. What was it for? They would leave the piss, some couple of days, I don't know, until it, fermented or whatever, and then they would irrigate crops with it. Anyway, so I believe in being ready for WAR. Why? Well, imagine if you are not ready, and then a civilization comes along that is way more advanced than you guys. They arrive and say, this is all ours. From now on, you're gonna, pay taxes to us. You're gonna change your language, everything. You're gonna become like us, and that's it. If the civilization is way more advanced, way more sophisticated, you're like, oh, I guess we'll just have to accept it now, right? But if it's the opposite, if it's a backward civilization that still lives in the dark ages, some window licker, dragon knuckle dragon, imbeciles. What if they come around and say, "This is all ours"? Ooga booga. No, you're gonna have to, pray 10 times a day, and don't wash, don't shave, those things. No electricity, no this, no. Imagine going backwards. That's really, shame on you for not being ready to defend, your culture. It's really not logical, is it? So I believe in being ready, and I also believe we could uh, fix all of these, misunderstandings with diplomacy. But again, not everybody wants diplomacy because, unfortunately, logic and wisdom is not a thing, available to everybody. And most are in the emotions. Most are very, very emotional. And when you're very, very emotional, logic just disappears. Just common sense doesn't exist. So yeah, I think Aries is a necessity, and it will never go away. And the best way to deal with Aries is to be prepared. You know, everything in this world is doing WAR in some form. Animals in the wild are constantly fighting each other for territory. Sometimes these fights don't end up in casualties. They just fight each other. The strongest, wins. But if they have nothing to eat, they will fight until they perish. There's lots of casualties. Also, for females, in the herbivores and in the carnivores, all of them, when there's the season of reproduction, they go crazy. I mean, even pets. I mean, cats around here, they literally kill each other off. We just came out of the season, and there was a bunch of cats just dead in the side of the road because they literally, turn each other to shreds for the females. It's a form of WAR, and it's not never going to go away. Everybody in the world, including animals, is disputing territory for resources. So it's better to be ready, right? Our ancestors knew this intuitively, and it's only been, in these recent times that people have fallen asleep almost. The rise of the midwits, these imbeciles that don't understand anything about anything. They think food just spawns miraculously like in a video game. Oh, you just have to wait 2 days and food is just back in the shelves, It's like a video game. Come back tomorrow and the shelves will be filled again. They full again. They don't understand where food or water, or if something happens, they don't even know where to procure clean water. They will be the first ones to drink, from the rain or from the pools in the floor. Of course, they will catch all sorts of diseases, and their eyes start getting red and, you know, like a zombie, you know, because they don't even know how to make fire and boil the water first, those sort of things. There's a lot of people that don't have any situational awareness or survival instincts. So, anyway, tell what you guys think. Have a nice day.